Jamie Gonzalez is a food activist, culinarian, and growing force in changing the culture of how we eat. Known as La Puta de la Fruta, she uses, I know, isn't that funny? It's awesome. She uses her moniker, passion, and experience to champion her Everybody Eats mission for health and food equity. Jamie's work is recognized by American Heart Association for its impact on long-term health outcomes. She is on the AHA Health Equity Board, the Mayor's Fitness Council, and president for the Food Policy Council. When Jamie isn't talking produce, she is playing with food, watching movies, and losing at every family game. Womp, womp, womp. But tonight she is a winner, and she is about to present to you about food activism. Please welcome to the stage, Jamie Gonzalez.
Wow, you're all out there. Just so you know, when we came to tryouts, I asked if they were going to bring a stool for me so that I could make sure everybody could actually see me up here. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. We are going to talk about why I'm the Puta de la Fruta. And I want to mention before I start that I really love the intro because when I took on that moniker, it was also because I was inspired by the story of Carmen Moran. And I wanted to be the Coochie Coochie lady like Charo as well. So, thank you all again. We're going to get started in a second. I made a couple of promises to my friends and family tonight. I promised them that I wasn't going to cry the whole time or they're going to heckle me. They're those people. And that I was going to try not to curse the whole time because there's a couple of schools that want to watch this afterwards. So let's get this shit started. For as long as I can remember, all I wanted to do was feed people. I've spent so long chasing this dream that I don't know what it's like not to want that. This everybody eats mindset has afforded me a great deal of food privilege and also the understanding that while everybody eats, most of us are merely eating to survive, and I want to eat to thrive. I grew up in and around food industry families who brought a love of food and community to all that they did. And it was in this moment at a softball party when I was 10 years old that my coach, the produce man, Roy Mendez, taught me what a honeydew was. The money melon. I was fascinated, and it was decades before I even understood what money melon meant. I got my first food job in the summer of '91, 14 years old, working overnight in a warehouse, counting apples, oranges, and bananas for the city's summer lunch program. At 20, I got my first produce job, writing checks, and quickly added running, sorting, and selling produce to my resume. Over the years, I grew from being the office girl, the market rat, the distributor, the food safety lady, and the salsa lady, to the produce lady that feeds her community, and the woman that takes a stand for equity, and the Puta de la Fruta that used a moniker to get your attention and to begin a movement that's changing our food culture through access, community, and food literacy. My journey has not been without failure and pain. In fact, this story is mostly about how I broke and used food to heal and build community. 5 years ago, I broke my neck. I lost my business, my home, and I resented my own resilience. This wasn't the first time I failed, but it was the time I failed myself most. Everybody breaks, and I was broken long before I broke. Understanding this was as difficult as physically healing. Dude, feelings are hard. But like the art of kintsugi, I put the raw edges of my broken self back together by filling it with the golden sparkle that I am, the joy that is food, and my love of community. Healing is messy. I'm a disco ball. This picture was taken at Traders Village 18 months after my surgery. That day, everything changed. COVID helped me to define my purpose. It gave me the power to heal and build and to understand the nuance between emergency feeding and empowered feeding. See, when I feed you, I feed myself. I've been on both sides of distribution lines, and I've seen what passes for food. I've known the pinch of not having enough, but I've never been crushed by the feeling of not knowing what to do with 25 pounds of beets. Many factors contribute to our lack of access and experience. In fact, 10% of households are considered food insecure. That's 33 million people. But a larger number, 90% of adults, don't eat enough fruits and vegetables every day. It's 200 million people. This inability to make an empowered choice, even when we have a choice, is a crisis of food literacy. And by the way, this is a chayote squash, not a pear. Everybody is slightly food illiterate. Do you eat to thrive? Are you building community at your table? Do you know that the sense of self that comes with knowledge and access isn't a luxury, it's the expectation? You should know that this is what your produce looks like. This isn't a filter. You should know that this is affordable to everyone when we change the system of how we're being fed. Somewhere between well-intentioned farmers markets and the proliferation of the emergency feeding mindset is a space where we build a more resilient local food system. And I lost it. And we do this with the knowledge to build community and the ability to help each other. I built a box to think outside the box. How do I create sustainability out of my vision? How do the struggle of taking this vision that's built with passion and expertise, this is the moment that we fight for. My greatest achievements are born in taking this picture in my head and making it a reality. Everyone yell produce lady is what I said when I took this picture with over 100 people. Building community, buying produce in a hospital with volunteers and my staff, cultivating community, bringing produce to the people. Since 2020, I've worked with over 50 organizations to sell and distribute more than 4 million pounds of food. We are in schools, we are at your doorstep, we are in libraries and community centers. This is like the book fair, but with produce. And I reward you for building community and making healthier choices with me. You see, this approach to feeding impacts the social determinants of health by casting a net of access and knowledge that fills gaps and instills a sense of community and a healthier relationship with food. Everybody wants to be somebody. Now, these people in the next picture, when it comes, are my friends from the Norm Oil Community Center. They're regulars at my city-partnered markets and classes, but they are not at Norm Oil. See, these women started a group text and then carpooled to come to the Bibliotheque South Market to see me and share produce and cultivate community. These are my food dreams. Through the support of organizations like the American Heart Association and our local government, I've been able to develop partner programs that add a layer of support to our home delivery and boxes. A growing Healthy Rewards program and prescription for produce program is an illustration of public-private partnerships that promote access and community and literacy. The Food Policy Council is the group that I've always looked toward to help me understand my civic role in my community. They challenge me to push my boundaries in my industry every day in order to build a stronger food system. If I can get you excited about produce, imagine what these two can do to get you excited about building all sorts of community. These are my people, earthy boundary pushers. And I'm grateful to the Current for recognizing that there is more than food into brunch and Quincha burgers. They shined a light on my work. They helped me build the confidence to put on the coat, and here I am winning the flavor competition with my amazing friend Christina Zhao. 4 years after I broke my neck, 2 years after Trader's Village, 2 forces in food. Everybody wants to feel seen. Just like this. I was here, I'm still here, and we're all going to share food together.
Yeah. Jamie. So, you are a poet, and I don't know if you know it. Are you aware that you're a poet? Okay, she's like, I dabble. All right.
No. You're the poet.
Thank you. You said something that was so utterly profound that I wrote it down, which was, when I feed you, I feed myself. That line is like, whenever you write your book, if you haven't written a book, if you plan on writing a book, that needs to be like your opening line or the end, wherever, somewhere in there. But it needs to be in a monumental spot. Can you explain just a little bit? I know what you mean. They know what you mean, but elaborate on that.
Absolutely. There's a lot of layers to that, right? So when I share food with you, when I bring you to my table, when we share community, when we build together, not only do we strengthen each other and become more resilient, but the joy and the pride and being able to be a part of something in that way, when I feed you, I heal myself. I become more whole. I become stronger and more prepared to build community alongside each other in all of the ways that we build community, even if it's not feeding people.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Whew, yeah, you can clap again for that because that's deep. It's getting deeper and deeper with y'all. Y'all are such passionate, beautiful women. I want to say, we just went through this little thing called COVID-19. It's just, what was an initiative that you created during the pandemic that you really felt like was super successful but also very challenging?
Starting a home delivery box program. During a time when a government-sponsored program that did feed a lot of people with very little nutritional value was most prevalent in our community. Those boxes did feed people, they did help people, but they were not the healthful ideal. And getting people to understand that there are other ways to create long-term sustainable programs that get you more than 4 produce items in a 20-pound box, it was a challenge. And it was a challenge not only to be heard locally in our community, but to be heard nationally. And honestly, thanks to County Commissioner Justin Rodriguez and Judge Nelson Wolf and the American Heart Association, I was able to not only build that program and deliver more than 30,000 boxes since 2020, but also create a national platform where the work that we are doing here is being modeled in other states and cities right now in connection with the American Heart Association.
You better be a trailblazer, girl. Yes, ma'am. And blood, sweat, and tears. I want to commend you because being in a city like San Antonio, where we have a large population of non-English speaking individuals, and you have to be a liaison between them and healthcare professionals, between them and nutritionists, and find a way to communicate to them, oh, this is the health risks if you don't start changing your lifestyle, if you don't start changing the way that you eat. So I want to say I commend you for that, because that takes so much power, and it takes really a unique approach, because when you go to these stores on the south side and the east side and the west side, they're not offering the same level of produce they are on the north side or central market. You get praise God, it's not the same. It's just like aisles of like candies and salts and sugars and this. Anyway, I gotta ask you one last question because I felt my soapbox. I felt it, and we was gonna get on that soapbox together, girl. Yes, because she's a munchkin. Yes. My last question to you is, what's coming next? What can we do to support you? Because you are doing valiant things, and people need to volunteer, and they need to show up for you.
Yes. You can follow me and my work at Big Fresh Market Box on all the platforms, and at Puta de la Fruta on all of the platforms. We have 3 to 4 produce markets every single week that we look for volunteers for. If you come and you work behind the table, not only do you learn about produce, but you earn free produce as well. And you get to have a good time because I'm super cool, and how could you not want to come hang out with me?
Hella cool. Okay, give me 2 locations where you have the farmers markets.
Absolutely. I have about 12 to 15 markets a month. We have 7 at recurring locations, and we're booked out through the year. Those 7 locations, get ready: Bibliotech South, the Carver, the Johnston, and the Schaefer Libraries, the Young Women's Leadership Academy on Weisach, those are my girls, and the Westover Hills Christus Hospital and the Children's Hospital of San Antonio. These markets are 2 hours long. I recommend you come and get in line, not too early. It really annoys my team. We are regularly selling out to over 100 shoppers in less than 2 hours at all of our markets now. We would love for you to come and support them. Please come shop with me. I love talking about produce. And, if you come a few times, I'll probably give you a few free things too.
Hey, everybody loves free food. Y'all give a hand to Puta de la Fruta.